Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be showing you how to make this purse. It uses a braided handle and I'm also using drawstrings as well as a single crochet ribbing pattern. So let's go ahead and jump right in. So we're gonna get started with our yarn as well as a 4mm crochet hook. I'll leave a link in the description box below on where you can get these items as well. So we're going to start by making a slip knot, and you can do this in whichever way you prefer. And then we're going to do 51 chain stitches. To do a chain stitch, yarn over and pull through for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and you continue until you have 51 chains in total. Now we're going to do 1 single crochet in each chain going across the row. We're going to skip this first chain here, but in the chain right beside it, pull up a loop with 2 loops on the hook, yarn over and pull through both. That's how you do a single crochet. This is one of the easier crochet stitches to do. So you can go ahead and continue doing your single crochets in each chain until you've completed this row. Now once you get to the end of the row, go ahead and chain 1, turn your work, and in the first stitch we're going to do another single crochet, but we'll be completing a ribbing pattern going across, which means that the single crochet will be done from the inside of the stitch. So like that, from inside the stitch, we pull up a loop, yarn over, and pull through 2 loops. So we're just going to go ahead and continue our single crocheted ribbing pattern going all the way across this row. Now this ribbed crochet pattern will be done in each and every row, but throughout this project we'll also be adding spaces where we can put our drawstring, because this bag does have a drawstring. Now in our next row I'm going to show you how to do that. We're going to start by chaining 1 and turning our work, and then I'm going to do 3 single crochets. And of course, that's going to be done from inside the stitch. Now, after you've done 3, chain 1, skip the next stitch, which is right here. I'm going to skip this stitch. And in the stitch beside it, I'll do my single crochet stitch. And then continue the pattern going all the way down until I have 4 stitches remaining, and that's so that I can repeat the pattern that I would have done up top. So go ahead again and continue doing your single crochets going all the way down until you have 4 stitches remaining. Now with 4 stitches remaining, 1, 2, 3, 4, we're going to chain 1, skip this stitch, and in the stitch beside it do our first single crochet. We're going to close out with the last 3, this being the first. So 1 here, and we close with 1 single crochet in that last stitch. So now both the top and bottom of our work are identical. Now chain 1 and turn your work, and we're going to do 1 single crochet in each stitch going across the row. So that's 1 single crochet in each stitch, and we're not going to leave a space or anything for our drawstrings. Right, so I just did my single crochet at top where I would have done my chain 1. It's done exactly the same as in all the other stitches. So continue that going across the row, but I'm also going to repeat that for 4 rows. So we're going to do 4 rows of single crochet, no spaces. Once you've completed your 4 rows, no spaces, chain 1, turn your work, And now this will be the row where we'll add a space. And again, that's done by doing 3 single crochets to start. And then I'm going to chain 1, skip the next stitch, and in the stitch beside that, do a single crochet, and continue doing my single crochets until I have 4 stitches remaining. And we're going to do it similar to how we did it in the previous row down here. Now, this is really all it takes to do the pattern for this bag. We're going to do a row with a space, so this row, and then atop that we'll do 4 rows, no spaces, and you'll continue that until your bag is at completion. All right, so this is how our work will look in the end. I've completed 25 rows in total. We're going to fold it in half and then seam the sides here together. Now you'll see the spaces that I created on both ends going across the row. And we do the spaces after doing 4 rows. So you'll see a space, you see 2 4 rows, a space, and then we have 2 4 rows and a space, and so on going across the row. Now I've ended the row doing 2 rows of single crochets, not 4, and that's because we would have started our row with 2 rows. So when we combine them, then it will be even going all the way around. So now I'm going to show you how to seam the sides together. Now we're going to go ahead and seam our sides together, and we'll be doing that by doing a slip stitch going all the way down. Now you want to start by inserting your hook to the extreme top of our work, and that's on both sides. Yarn over and pull through a loop. Now chain 1, and in each stitch going down, we're going to do a slip stitch. Now the slip stitch is going to be done from the inside of the stitch. So from the inside here and through the inside on this side as well. We'll pull through a loop and then pull through the loop already on the hook. And we're going to do that in each stitch going forward. So you see we insert our hook through the stitch on this side as well as through the stitch on this side and pull it through. And then we're going to pull that through the loop. That's how you do a slip stitch, and we're going to continue that going all the way down. And in that very final stitch, now once you've completed all your slip stitches going all the way down, take your scissor and cut the yarn, pulling it all the way through. And then you want to go ahead and repeat the pattern on this side. For our drawstring, we're going to go ahead and start by doing a slip knot, and then I'm going to chain 3. 1, 2, 3. Now I'm going to pull up loops going across the row. So I'm going to actually do that in the middle and first chain stitch. So 1, 2, and that will leave me with 3 loops on my hook. Now I'm going to remove the first and second loop from my hook, yarn over and pull through the last. Then I'm going to reinsert that second loop there on my hook, but that loop only, and yarn over and pull through, reinsert in the last loop, yarn over and pull through. And that will be the pattern for my drawstring. So I'll show you once again. Release the first and second loop, leaving only that last loop on your hook, yarn over and pull through, reinsert that second loop, yarn over and pull through, reinsert the first loop there, yarn over and pull through. So I'll do it once more. Now you can go ahead and continue until your drawstrings are as long as you'd like them to be, but I'm going to go ahead and stop here where I've done 80 rows in total. Now once you're complete, you can go ahead and cut your yarn and then yarn over, pulling the yarn through all 3 loops, and you can pull it to tighten as well. Now once you're ready to weave in your drawstring, we're going to identify the 2 front spaces, and we're going to insert, and this is on my left side. I'm going to insert the drawstring from front to back, and then we're going to do in the next space, back to front, front to back, back to front, and we continue this pattern going all the way around. And of course we can pull on the drawstring to adjust the size. So if you want these to be the same size, you can just go ahead and pull on it until they are. In the end, your work should look something like this. So now I'm just going to go ahead and braid my yarn pieces together. These are about 45 inches long. You need 3 sets that has, well, this has about 80 strands in each. You can also make it bigger or smaller depending on what works for you. So now I'm just going to go ahead and braid the pieces together. Now, once you've completed your braid, I've used a hair tie here. You can use an elastic band or a scrunchie just to hold the ends together. And while I'm holding it together, I'm just going to go ahead and do a sewing pattern right on the edge of it so that when I remove the hair tie, it stays in place. So taking a crochet needle that you threaded with your yarn, and just go ahead and insert it right at the end here and do a sewing pattern going all around. Now I always start by doing a knot so that it stays in place, and I do my knot by pulling it through, but I'm going to keep a loop here. I'm going to insert my needle through the loop, pulling it through, and then tighten that for my knot. You can do this a few times just to ensure that your knot stays secure. And once you're confident, you can just go ahead and complete the sewing pattern going across. You can go ahead and do the sewing pattern as many times as you wish until you're sure it is secure. Now, once you've sewn it to your satisfaction and you're sure it's secured, you can just go ahead and remove your hair tie or whatever it is that you're using to hold the pieces together. You can just go ahead and remove that. So I've removed my hair tie, and now I'm going to go ahead and cut the excess yarn. And I'm going to do it fairly close to where I have my sewing pattern. And even though this is fairly sturdy, I'm also going to do my sewing pattern going around. I'm going to just go ahead and add new yarn to my crochet needle so that I have enough yarn to sew the pattern going around to cover this end. Now you're going to continue the sewing pattern until the end is fully secured. And if you can see, I'm doing it in a way where the yarn will cover the top like this and secure the top of my work. Now in the end, this is what my ends look like, and I've done it to both sides. Now we're going to go ahead and add the handle to our purse. Now I've gone ahead and placed a marker on the seam that falls directly in the middle. And the reason why I've done that is because I will be attaching our handle one at a time, so one side at a time. And I'll use the marker so that I know where to start from each side. Now, once your work is properly positioned, you can go ahead and take your crochet needle, and I'm just going to go ahead and string it through. So I'm going to do a sewing pattern that goes across and then vertically going up. Now that it is fully attached to the bottom, I'm going to go ahead and stitch it going all the way down on the side as well. So I went ahead and completed the attachment for my handle, and that's going all around. So again, we started doing by sewing it from the bottom, and then you just pretty much continue that on the sides. And then at the top here, we'll have this left for our handle. Now, you want to ensure that your work has a neat finish. At the bottom here, you can see this is what our work would look like if we, just lift or braid as is with the sewing pattern. But I'm going to show you how to take your work from this to this so that it can have more of a polished, finished end look. Now, taking a threaded crochet needle, we're going to insert the needle right at the bottom, and you want it to fall right at the base of the stitches that we would have done and you want it to fall right at the base of the stitches that we would have done to secure or braid. Now, pulling it tightly, I'm going to insert my needle again, and I'm pretty much going to repeat this motion, wrapping the yarn around the braid. So now I'm going to thread my crochet needle again so that I can show you how to do the top of the braid. Now for the top of my braid, starting from the side, I'm going to insert my needle under those pieces we would have just worked on. So the horizontal strips, I'm going to work my crochet needle under all the strips. Now you want it to be done from the back as well as the front. So from the front, so on both sides. And that's really how you get the coverage that we're looking for. And then you just reinsert it under. You also want to hitch it inside the braid so that it stays together. See where we have our first vertical piece here. I'm gonna just align the second piece right beside it. You have to do this slowly and carefully so that it is as neat as possible. this is what my work is looking like after completing that weaving pattern for my yarn, and this is also the finished product.